You know, even your water treatment plants, I know them. Even when you had no water, I knew what was wrong. And people lied that Chile, you understand? I stayed next to Strikfontein there, so I know that below there's a valve. You've seen this valve next to the dam. That valve after rains you must open it so that all the sand moves. That's why people in Kwakwa could always go and do sand mining. But you stopped doing that for many years. That's why the streams are put a chaba. Why? Because media not figure part. So if you don't do that, what will happen to the pumps? They will to the top plant. They'll block. So the reality is at some point there were people that decided to hire people that did not know. But how did I know these things? It's because all my life I stayed in a farm and I used to go and watch these white people as a youngster. You knew what they were doing and you're inquisitive, you ask. So I always knew. In this Strikfontein Dam, every year in December, am I lying? Does that happen in God? Thank you. So now you know what your problems are. So this is what we call the knowledge. And all of you guys who are in business, I don't know the kind of businesses you're doing, but you can imagine if there's no water, some of the businesses you guys want to do, you can't really do them. Now I'm saying, if this, and that's why I say business is always key, because if things go bad politically, it's worse for business people, believe you me. You saw Pick n Pay complain that we had to spend 600 million extra because of diesel. That was never in our balance sheet. So, do you think if I'm a business person, I like a guy that makes me to spend 600 million more? Just because he does not know what he's doing. So, let me show you why also some of this incompetence happen. Is that you don't really have a lot of number of black people who are really in business. Because if all were in business, we would know, Ramchana, you're messing us up. So when we build these ecosystems, and that's why I say, know what are the drivers of your business. The water there is so clean. I remember at some point, Maluti Tvet water was bottling its own water. It means any business person in Kwakwa could set up the machine, bottle that water, and go and sell it. But now you made the water not to be available. So I need you guys to understand these things, because these are business concepts. And then furthermore, so that deal fell through in 2013. I had now started a consulting firm called Young Innovative and Developmental Consultants. I consulted in the environmental space. I used to regulate Sasol and Letabo, so the industries in Free State. So I started consulting in development planning work. And then politics as they happen, because at night I don't keep my mouth shut, I suppose. When it's wrong, it's wrong. Especially when it affects our people, it's wrong. And I'm not one to embrace stupidity. I will tell you, my brother, this is not right. It's not working for our people. But remember, at times people think they've got power. You know, and we left. So when I left government, because I had worked a lot well with a lot of these private sector guys, I then did what we call your first BE deal. I did my first BE deal. These guys were trying to grow their construction firm. I had consulted for them in their asphalt manufacturing firm, but they now needed a black partner. Normally, other companies, when they need a black partner, what did they do? They used to get a politician in. So these guys were pretty, let's give this young lady a chance, which was now an opportunity for me to have the kind of money I needed for that deal. So I joined the company. They were taking around 100 million, became an executive director, grew the business up until 400 million. And in the process, besides growing the business, created about 7 black businesses from the guys who were the employees, allowed them to do certain specialized work, grew our supplier base to almost 600, with about 80% of them being black-owned businesses across. Because what I did to them, I said, gentlemen, you are building roads in South Africa. And we're building roads in former black areas. I can guarantee you your bottom line profit. But I can work tirelessly in bringing black guys into the mainstream. Not with politics. Believe you me, I fought a lot of guys that wanted to come to my project with politics. I told him, you're going to get an opportunity because you're black, but you must not just only be black, you must be competent. So if you're not yet competent, I will come and do the class, like I'm doing here. I would take them to a class and says, okay, let's understand, this is how you price this thing. If you don't do this and this and this, you're going to lose money. Do you understand? So when you get to my project, you don't do what you're thinking. I've taught you how you're going to come and make money with me. But also, in this business, you can lose money because no one teaches people about business losing money. So if you are in business not to lose money, then you are not a business person, you're an employee. So I think you must go and apply this site. Leave this one. Why? Let me tell you in business. If you open a business and you don't come to work, your employees open a business in your business. You still have to pay them month end. But they are running their business every day. Own a tavern or a club. If you're not at the tavern every day, your employees will go and buy alcohol at Ultra. Come and sell it at your place at your markup price. Your place will be busy. Tomorrow you'll still find your stock there. And you ask, but what was sold here? No, they opened a business in your business. I don't know, because, no, they just became creative. You don't mind this thing. Remember, employees, they study you. Let me ask you one thing. When you run a construction firm, for me to make a profit, I must finish the contract as soon as possible. For the local community guys that are working for me, this project must take as long as possible. Now, these are two fundamental contradictions that you must manage as a business person. And how do you manage that? Everyone, you need to measure and plan your work in such a way that you have performance targets. And you fire them for not performing. If I said to you, these caps every day, you can do 120 meters. If you don't do 120 meters, it means we're going to get more days. I fire you immediately. So you negotiate the fair salary, but then you make sure that the performance is done. And you make sure you supervise the performance. And you make sure there's consequences when there's no performance. You're going to be known as this guy that pays well but fires you quickly. So it means everyone that works with you know what is that. If I want to, then you're going to even attract a certain caliber of employees that will say, oh, now we want a guy that pays us on time. Hey, but we are saving that. Or they can get the guy that doesn't pay them on time, who's not supervising them. But Mandan, the reason why he does not pay you on time is because he could not create a certificate that had enough money to pay you guys. And remember, you must also understand, as much as you have the education, our people are not educated to that level. And there's a reason why, there's always that one white guy, Maluti Tvet. Have you seen that? All contracts where there's white people, there's always that one, he's a senior guy, he's sitting there. Because he knows if this thing is not happening, there's no money in the bank, come and end. But these guys will say, we'll never keep this money. Not in this span. You see, when you're a businessman, you think different. The municipality in our town is not functioning, you know why? Not because I don't know what you must pay. Not because I don't know what I'm saying must pay. People wake up, they go there, then they go to city. Am I lying? Now imagine if you ran a business and you had to pay people and people did that. And if you're not in your business and you're too busy, that's why in business at times, when you feel that you've got another opportunity, you dilute your stake, you get another partner. But the argument with this partner is that when you are there. So do you understand why when people grow their businesses, they start bringing in new partners? to make sure that the growth does not overwhelm the business. If I'm not there, there is someone who's there and who has a vested interest that this business must succeed. So you don't hire someone and think he's got a vested interest in it succeeding. He will open his business in your business. But if you've given someone an equity stake, he's part of the business. It's his business too. And those are decisions any business person must do, especially with your most loyal employees. Because but don't take advantage of them. Because the day they wake up and say, you have a problem. Now, I'll give you a few management strategies. How did I manage to keep and run a company close to 1,000 employees? There's one thing. Try and make time to meet your people at all times. So they were across projects. At any given time, we would run 26 projects. This is before COVID, across the country. I used to drive and go there. I used to go and meet them. I used to take time and try and read their different names. These are your people, you must know them. Because that's how you get your people, one, not to unionize. I always became accessible to my people. Can talk to me about anything. But I did something unique, because you're only working with construction men. Eh? And we all know, if I take construction men to Kokstad, there'll be 3 or 4 babies. You know almost. I work with those guys. I used to get the calls every day. Or if he's in Kokstad, he has a new wife, the original wife doesn't get money anymore. And the guy tells him, you see, now there's the wife who's praying, mechanism. So we used to have on the 25th of November every time, closing party. But there's a trick in the closing party. Everyone must bring their wife and kids. Yeah. I'm on a jumping castle. Do you understand what I'm saying? So how do you do it? It means every year, if I'm going to be introduced to a new wife every year. I can say, understand that. But 2, if I know your kids, because I know next year I'll go at a salary increase. And I ask, what is the salary increase for? What are the common reasons people will give you reasons for salary increase? Thank you. But I know you've got kids, I know you don't have kids.